Steve. I love that intro. Happy birthday,
Oh,
Steve.
thank you. Yes, thank you. Much appreciated. Um, 49 today.
Wow.
So, I do thank you. I thank you for that. Thank everybody.
49 going on 39.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
And
Hey,
in addition to Steve's birthday, everyone, happy Halloween.
yeah, happy Halloween. I even though I love Halloween. People look at it incorrectly because
Yeah.
I wish people would realize the real, actual meaning of Halloween. Of course, it's All Hallows Eve, and it plays
Yes.
along with All Saints Day. But people need to realize everybody looks upon it as satanic, not necessarily. The original invention of this jack o' lantern was to scare away the demons, not bring them in.
To chase the demons. That's the whole purpose of a
Right.
lit jack-o'-lantern. Very correct. That's
And
absolutely correct.
it's also the pinnacle of the fall season. That was one of the reasons why I decided to go with the leaves around.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. I think that's really, really good, Steve. And just to say this quickly, Halloween is mainly a Hallmark holiday. So
Yeah, it is. It is.
fun, candy. We got to lighten up. The world is way too emotional right now. We got to lighten up.
Yeah, yeah, you do. Not everybody. There's just certain people.
I mean, and in reference to this Hallmark holiday, it
Yeah.
just really turned to a Hallmark holiday and just have a laugh. My God, it's okay to laugh. Happy birthday, Steve.
Thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. Well, from
We got
what
questions, don't we?
we do have questions. Yeah, I was about to mention. I've got a few here that I thought up, and you've got some that you thought up, and maybe we could, you know, kind
Well,
of.
I'll be honest with you, Steve. The questions that I'm going to throw, by the way, we're doing trivia questions about the year 1974. The questions I'm going to throw out mainly have a grocery item related theme. Yours are a little more spread out, right?
Yeah, yeah, more random, or if you want to quote my channel name, I'm everywhere.
There you go. That's
So
consistent. Like in my channel, I feel like I'm either at the grocery store or the stockpile or a piggy bank. I mean, I'm just goofing on it, but it's all related to saving money.
yeah, that yeah, because well, with what I have and what you have is gonna, because some of the subscribers were teenagers, maybe preteens in that time frame. So this would be reminiscent of taking them back.
Right.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh, that sounds inexpensive versus today.
Yes.
But no, actually, it was not because back then money was on a different scale. So it sounds cheap today,
Exactly.
but not back then.
Steve, before we jump into the questions, there's something I really want to make sure that I make very clear from me. Okay. When
Okay.
I said about lightening up, please understand I'm not NOT bullprint referring to lightening up about the other horrendous world problems of which we
Oh,
cannot get into. We
no.
just cannot get into. Our hearts hurt for everybody. We cannot get into it. That is not what I'm talking about. Talking about that today it just turned into this like Hallmark holiday. That's all I'm saying on that. Kids have a lot of fun, and that's the end of it. So, Steve, you're going to get into some questions. Who's going to ask the first question? Me?
If you like, I mean, I've got mine set up here as well.
Well, you're the birthday guy. So, whatever. Maybe you should take
Okay.
the first one.
Okay. Well, the first question, I don't know, it's sort of a two-parter because I was going to mention what were the top three top television shows of 1974, but
Okay.
I've got two different seasons of 1974. I've got 1973-74 season, and I've got 1974-75. So I was going to mention.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It kind of splits itself up. Yeah, yeah.
So The top 3 shows, I'm not gonna make it multiple choice or anything, I'm just gonna mention it outright. Um, the top 3 shows in the 73-74 season, number 1, you probably already guessed the number 1 show, All in the Family.
Hilarious.
The second one, this took me a little bit by surprise, I do enjoy watching it even today, The Waltons.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and I did meet Richard Thomas. Yay.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did. He was at a book signing. He had written a book called Poems by Richard Thomas. I went there with a family member. We were like starstruck. He had the most bluest eyes ever. He was really nice.
I can just imagine you're there. Look, John Boy. It's probably the first.
Keep in mind, I was in high school at that time, so it wasn't like this very mature person that you're looking at now, as if I'm totally mature, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And then the number 3 show was Sanford and Son.
Oh, okay, that works.
Now here's what's interesting. When I go to this 1974-75, it changes a little bit. Number 1 is still All in the Family. Sanford and Son becomes number 2 instead of number 3.
Oh.
This one was a really good show. I thought it should have stayed on more seasons. Number 3 was Chico and the Man.
Yes, that was a great show. What a lineup in those olden days. Like, no offense, they were the olden days for me too. Great TV and great TV lineups back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go on to my question?
Sure, yeah.
So mine's food related. All right, so back to the grocery store. Anyway, multiple choice question. Let's put on our thinking cap. A multiple choice question. In 1974, the cost of a dozen eggs on average was 78 cents, 49 cents, or 95 cents. 78, 49, 95. Should I give the answer right now? Does that make sense?
We can, or you could. I mean, you can if you like.
You kind of like you're giving away, your answer, or we'll just go back and forth.
Now, if you want to go through, if you want to go back and give it later, you can. But I have my answer already picked out.
What did you pick? 78 cents, 49 cents, or 95 cents. The cost of a dozen eggs.
I'll say 78, but I'm thinking, for some reason, I keep thinking 49, but,
Should I give you the answer now?
Sure,
We'll
go
come
ahead.
back to it. You want to know now?
Well, hold on. No, hold on to it. Hold on to it.
And of course, the bird clock is going off. Okay, you're next.
All right. My next question, I'll make it a multiple choice. What was the minimum wage in 1974? Was it $2.30 an hour, $2.10 an hour, or $2 an hour?
I'm going to take a crack. I know we're going back to it. I'm going to say $2.30 an hour.
No, that's what the minimum wage was in 76.
Oh.
In 74, it was right at $2. Right at $2.
Ah.
Yeah.
So we gave away the answer. Good for us.
That's okay.
All right. Let me see. So I'm on the, all right. Next, Steve, I wonder if you're going to get this one. A pound of bacon back in 1974 cost either $1.99 or $1.32.
$1.32 or $1.99
a pound.
A pound.
Real bacon, not turkey bacon.
Real bacon.
There was no turkey bacon back then, just for the record.
No, that came later. I think that
came
probably
much later, like
probably the 80s. I think the 80s is when they got
turkey bacon in the 80s. I thought it came out in the 2000s, but you're probably right.
Okay, $1.32 or $1.99. Well, considering that you had high prices in 74 because you did have the Arab oil embargo going on.
Correct. You giving a good answer here.
I'm going to say $1.99.
Okay, should we come back to it or should I share it now?
You can come back to it.
Okay. I just want to mention, Steve mentioned something extremely important. Okay. Back then, we were at an inflationary rate in 1974 of an unthinkable 11%. 11%. Unthinkable.
Mhm.
All right. You have a question?
I do. Now, what was the average yearly income or yearly household income in 74? I'll make this one multiple question as well. 10,500 or 10,500, 12,000, or 11,100.
I know we're going to come back to it. I'm going to guesstimate 12.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll come back to it. Oh, I think you might like this question, Steve.
Okay.
Which candy, multiple choice, which candy debuted in 1974? Was it my personal favorite, Mallow Cups or Skittles?
Oh, wow. Okay, I have my answer.
What is it?
Well, there's nothing wrong with tasting the rainbow. Skittles. Skittles. Well, the reason why I mention it that way is because if you go back and look, the Skittles commercial, they always harp about that. So.
Okay. All right. So, like we said, we're coming back to it. You got another question, Steve?
Yeah. This is not multiple choice. This is just a regular flat out just mention. Here are the top 5 selling record albums of 74. I have to include a music question.
Of course.
Number 1, this really caught me by surprise. The song is great. I do like it. Wings' Band on the Run come in number 1. Number 2 is Elton John Greatest Hits, the first volume 1.
Loved that album, just saying.
Number 3 is Eric Clapton 461 Ocean Boulevard. That had I Shot the Sheriff on it.
Right, right.
Another Elton John, Caribou.
Right.
And number 5 is Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark. This is what surprises me. I must be getting my wires crossed somewhere.
Why?
I must be thinking best-selling single, which we all know was The Way We Were by Barbra Streisand. I would have figured that would have been on the list, but I guess it didn't make it.
Okay, but definitely the best-selling single that year was that. Yeah.
I figured, as popular as it was.
I kind of remember it. Interesting, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great year. The entertainment was amazing. I lived through it. Everything was amazing. The music, the movies, everything. Today, if somebody would have asked me, oh, I bet you really like the music of right now. No offense to anyone who likes the music of right now. I don't. Because a lot of it, the music sounds prefabricated. I like actual, real instrumental music, but that's me.
You see the look on my face.
Yes, I do.
No, thank you.
Why?
No, thank you. I'll pass.
A slight grimace,
Yeah.
Okay, now this one may throw some people off. Which product was a big hit in 1974? And just for the record, I experienced this because it was the first time I ever picked them out. I brought them home to my mother. I thought she would have a fit because I bought it. But would it be this? Which product was a big hit in 1974? Was it instant mashed potatoes or was it canned pork and beans?
Oh, well, you would think with Blazing Saddles, pork and beans would be it, but we'll just leave that right there. This subject is about my birthday show, not you and your flatulence. But anyway.
Oh my word!
Yes, I said it. And yes, I said it because, well, anyway.
Wait a minute. Was flatulence a problem in Blazing Saddles?
At the campfire scene.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's what you were referring to earlier.
Yes.
You know, Steve and I kind of like never talk about like bathroom humor. So
Right.
Steve brought up about Blazing Saddles and the campfire, and I do remember vaguely a campfire scene, but I forgot about that item specific incident.
And that's what they were eating around the campfire was the beans. So that's.
I forgot, Lord.
But I'm gonna exclude that this time. Yes, just a little. Yeah, there's my birthday, so I want to put a little bit of something humorous in there. But I'll say the mashed potatoes. I mean, that sounds pretty good. Even though I like making my mashed potatoes the old-fashioned way, I mean, I'll do instant. In fact, one of my recipes, not my recipe, but a friend of mine, but I've learned how to make it. The potato soup I know how to make uses potato flakes that you use instant mashed.
Yes, and I have like really specific, helpful hints and tricks to ensure that instant mashed potato flakes doesn't taste like instant. All right, I'm not going to give you the direct answer yet. However, we'll come back to it. Steve, what was your question now?
That was it.
All right, we'll have another question. It's the final one. All right, this is an interesting question. A loaf of white bread was, back in 1974, 55 cents, 65 cents, or 35 cents. A loaf of white bread back then, the slice one, 55 cents, 65 cents, 35 cents. And I'm probably referring to that loaf of sliced bread that has those little balloons around the picture.
I grew up on that bread.
Yeah, we're still here to talk about it.
No, I actually grew up on Wonder Bread. Well, because I was only a part of the 70s, for 5 years, but I can relate to the 80s much more. But
that was the first bread to fortify vitamins in it, and it used to be the big saying, building healthy bodies in 12 ways. Remember that, Steve? They would push that.
No, because my lunch in school was Wonder Bread, Oscar Mayer bologna, go figure.
Good stuff.
At that time, it's probably not anything like it is today. Kraft Singles, Miracle Whip.
Yeah.
And I believe my drink, Capri Sun.
Yeah. This all sounds like so related to everything. And by the way, that famous commercial, that Oscar Mayer commercial with the little boy with the curly hair, I think that was popular around 74, just like off the top of my head,
My bologna has a first name. It's OSCAR.
Well, Steve, let's make it official with the answers, okay? On the multiple choice question. In 1974, a dozen eggs on average was it 78 cents, 49 cents, or 95 cents? The official answer, ta-da, 78 cents is the right answer. That's why when I hear people in 2023 find ways, which I'm just so proud of these folks, of getting a loaf of bread for like $1, $1.50. Keep in mind that in 1974, the average cost of white sliced bread was 78 cents. So that's pretty darn good, in my honest.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Steve, a pound of bacon back in 1974 cost either what? $1.99 a pound or $1.32 a pound.
Well, I'm thinking I probably got this wrong, but that's okay.
What answer did you say?
I think I said $1.99.
I don't recall offhand, but the correct answer is $1.32.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And also, Steve, which candy debuted in 1974? Was it Mallow Cups or Skittles? No, Mallow Cups was my generation. Mallow Cups was the 1960s.
60s.
Love Mallow Cups.
No.
They used to really advertise them all the time, like when I used to watch Batman and those good shows in the middle 60s. But Steve, Skittles, you already were
That's
correct.
what I, right, that was my answer.
The other question, which product was a big hit in 1974? Was it instant mashed potatoes or was it canned pork and beans? What did you say?
I did say the potatoes. I did go with that.
And that's correct, because originally I thought if I bought a box of, I was in high school, I was just shopping around, and I said, let me try this. Everybody was buying them.
Yeah.
So it was like, that was the year. So I says, oh, my mother probably never tried us to say ew, whatever. She didn't say ew. She thought they were pretty good.
Yeah.
And my specific, Steve, hint or trick, if you want your instant mashed potatoes to taste almost as if you made them from scratch, add two things very simply, Steve. A little half and half, some garlic powder. Can I tell you, it makes the consistency and flavor really outstanding.
You know, I do that with a recipe. I do know how to make Alfredo sauce from scratch, and I use a little bit of half and half in the recipe. It I don't know, it does something to it, like you were saying, but I don't.
It binds it. I don't know, it emulsifies it. I don't know what it does. It thickens it, and it also gives that creamy flavor. So it's really quite good. You can really doctor up your instant mash. Nowadays, of course, they come completely flavorized, and you could just add hot water. But if you get the blank instant mash, you do what you want with it. What's that, Steve?
Yeah, I would much. No, I was just agreeing with you because
yes,
I don't have a problem with the flavored, but keep in mind it's probably artificial, not real.
Right.
So I would much rather do it the old-fashioned way. Give me the half and half and the garlic powder. I have no problem.
I agree, because the instant mash that are blank are just merely dehydrated potato, no other additives. So yeah, I agree with you. Very, very good. Canned pork and beans have been around since way before Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Just for the record, I did not have flatulence. We were talking about flatulence from a movie.
Of course. Now, because I was just making a reference back to, right.
Yes, I just want to clear that. I'm a very, very polite.
We're good, yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
We're polite people.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. The loaf of white bread, as you know, 55, 65, 35. Can you imagine? 35 cents was the correct answer. Do you know what we pay for a loaf of white sliced bread right now?
Let's see. Luckily I got a BOGO deal on it. I bought a really good Nature's Own bread. One loaf outside of the BOGO was about $2.80 a loaf today. So think, a loaf of bread now is 8 times what it was back then.
It's crazy. It is like mad crazy. Steve, years ago when I was in high school, you get a pass to get on the subway, New York City subway. But if it was the weekend, you couldn't use your school pass. But I used to like to go shopping with my friends or hang out or whatever. So we would jump on, get on, pay to go on the subway. And you'll never believe, back then, a token, we used to use this like round token thing and throw it in the turnstile. It was only like 15 cents.
Yeah.
Right now, the cost of getting on a New York City subway jumped all the way up to close to $3 one way.
Oh, wow. $3. Wow.
It's like, that's a lot of jumping.
Yes, it is. Yep.
I was astonished to find something out about Steve. How many people know the exact day of the week that they were born? I mean, like, they know the year, we know the number, we know, I know I'm December 5th. I know it's 1958. I remember my mother told me the day of the week. I'm not mentioning it, but I can mention it later. I just happened to ask Steve. Steve, I tried to trick him. Steve, by the way, this was earlier when we were in the green room. Steve, by the way, do you know the day that you were born in 1974? He goes, oh, yeah. I said, what do you mean, oh, yeah?
Well, what it was is years ago, my mom would always, we would talk here and there. And she used to always say, well, Steve, she says, I got pregnant with you in the third week of January of 74, which I've actually gone back and done the math, which is pretty accurate. Yet the doctor, my mom's doctor, said my due date was the 16th of October. Well, so much for that idea. But she said, yeah, I had you on Halloween, but she said, I had you on a Thursday. She told me flat out, she
Amazing.
still remembers the week of the day of the week that I was born. It was on a Thursday.
Yeah, we kind of remember the days of the week when we have our kids.
Mm-hmm.
I had my daughter on a Monday, and it happened to be that year. The year was Memorial Day. It was definitely memorable. But you were going to say,
yeah. So, like I say, I would have been now if I would have been born on the 16th, that would have made me born on a Wednesday. Yeah, one because I got to go back one day, right? That would have made me born on a Wednesday. But you know what? Based on technology and medical and all of that, back then the doctors were not quite as accurate about due dates as they are today.
yeah, because of medical technology and sonograms and measurements. Absolutely.
Because they always told me, they said, well, your mom was all right because it's usually 2 weeks before or two after. So, so it's but they did say that my mom was still in an okay bracket because of the time.
What they used to do to configure the calculation back in the prehistoric days, like let's say when my mom had myself, or even when I had my daughter, still I didn't know my daughter was I didn't know I was having a daughter ahead of time or whatever, because my daughter was born in 79.
Mm-hmm.
I just missed that technology by about a year, like literally like one squeaky year. So like your mother missed it by just a few years, like 6 years. But back in those days, when you went to the doctor for your first visit and said, blah, 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 the doctor would calculate you to just subtract 3 months back and add a week or something like that. And then you got your answer. And that was pretty accurate, Steve. So everything's good. All good. Steve, I don't know. I want to just wish you a very, very happy birthday. And I hope you're going to get yourself. What is your favorite birthday cake?
My favorite birthday cake?
Yeah. Do you have like a do you like it as ice cream, or do you like it?
Yes. Okay, this will probably never outgrow me, and that's fine. But I'm not exactly particular to this, but I am loyal to ice cream cakes because not every year, but there were years that I would get an ice cream cake, and I love them.
They're amazing. I don't blame you.
Believe it or not, now that I'm getting older, I'm coming to find out I'm a lot more practical, simpler about a lot of things. So I hope nobody laughs, but are you familiar with, Pepperidge Farm? Pepperidge Farm. They make these different cakes, chocolate, vanilla.
Those are amazing. They came out in like 1969. I'll never forget when they first came out.
So what I'm thinking about doing is buying one of those and get my favorite ice cream, put it on the side.
That's delicious. Perfect.
So that's what I've got in mind for
perfect
my birthday this year.
A relative asked me, because my 65th is coming up in a few weeks, which birthday cake, and I've had this like planned because I took after my aunt. She's no longer here, but my aunt Anne, she left us a few years ago. On her 90th surprise birthday party, they gave her a beautiful carrot cake, like the really with the walnuts, like with the works. That's what I want on my 65th. Just saying, even if I don't eat a cookie for 3 months, I'll be okay as long as I get a piece of that carrot cake. Steve, I like your idea with the cake with the ice cream to the side. That's what they used to do back traditionally.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one of the cakes that I was loyal to, and last year was a complete and utter disaster. Please feel free to watch last year's birthday video.
What happened? I mean, I know I was on that video, but what happened?
I went to Baskin Robbins. I was going to get an ice cream cake because I was loyal to when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
lived overseas, over there my dad being stationed in the military, you really didn't have much choice. You either had Baskin Robbins or you had Spanish ice cream. Spanish ice cream was not bad. It was very good. But I went and got a free scoop of ice cream or in a little cup. They give me this little rinky-dink cup. So when I go to the register to get it for free, I mean, it's a kid's thing, nothing. They wanted to charge me $4. Guess what I did? I said, here. I said, I don't want this. I said, you can have it back. And I turned around and left. So
Wow.
I'm kind of sadly disappointed by the way Baskin Robbins treated me. I never said
Yeah.
anything about that. I should have
Yeah.
probably have said something to corporate about that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But
You know what? Also, it's a good thing too, in alignment with if you like ice cream cake. For anyone that likes ice cream cake, you can always prepare your own ice cream cake. There are many, many situations, recipes, and videos. I've seen people build their own ice cream cakes, which looks like a lot of fun. And also, people have the Carvel option, those little miniature, little love, I think they call it.
that's what I wound up doing last year. If you go back to my birthday,
Was that so? Okay.
what I did is I got a Carvel ice cream cake, and luckily when I did the thumbnail for last year, because I let everybody know how my birthday went,
Sure.
I was able to match the font color to the cake. Don't ask me how I did it.
You're right. How'd you do it?
I don't know. I got it from thumbnail. I kept playing around with it. I messed around with the different blue, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, and I want to mention something. My mom, bless her heart, her birthday is 3 days after mine, and we always celebrate ours together. One year, we happened to be in Hoboken, New Jersey. Steve, did you ever hear of a restaurant called Johnny Rockets?
From what I have something similar to that here. I think it's very 1950s based.
Yes, it's like a retro 1950s. I mean, they're really item specific, very clean, and in the middle of things, they break out into song. Really, really a lot of fun. Make a long story short, what happened was they would give you a free ice cream treat if it's your birthday. So I said, it's my birthday, blah, blah. Oh, how nice. So I said, it's also my mom's birthday in 3 days. I felt like a little kid that's trying to get their free ice cream for their friend. And it wasn't true, but it was real. It was really my mother's birthday. 3 days later, they were I said, look, you want to see our IDs? We were whipping them out, getting our IDs. That was really, really funny. But the people couldn't have been nicer. And then they started dancing to a B-52 song, which was really funny. I couldn't understand that. The lights went flickering and everything stopped in the restaurant. People were jumping on the counter. It was so much fun. Listen, here's the way I look at it, Steve. Your birthday is your birthday. You do as you wish and you enjoy it as you wish. And I am wishing you, and I'm sure the viewers are, from the bottom of our hearts, we extend our heart to yours, wishing you a wonderful, wonderful day.
I do appreciate that. Do you by chance remember which B-52 song it was? I hate to put you on the spot. But...
Yeah, no, I know. It was, oh my God. Name one of their famous ones.
Love Shack?
Yes!
Was it?
Yes!
Okay.
I'm does Love Shack have to do with a 1950s retro? But it was hilarious. They had the hats on. And I'm am I really looking at this? But it was fun.
Don't get me wrong about Love Shack. It's okay, and I mean it as you hear it, because I've heard it so much. But I know back when that song came out, oh my gosh, left, right, Love Shack. But that's probably the one that most people know from the B-52s is that one.
Probably.
Yeah, because they got a #1 with it. But I personally prefer the follow-up song called Roam, R-O-A-M. To me, that might have been a little bit of a better song. I'll tell you why. Rome has a little bit of a 50s kind of feel to it.
Right. Was it as popular? Probably not, right?
It was. I mean, it was a top 10. I mean, it was.
It was a top 10. The reason I ask you that is This is like on a like cheesy, tiny comparison. Let's say Jan has a very successful video on a Monday. It is hard to keep up that momentum. I mean, literally expect the next video to probably dip down. I just expect it because it is very hard to like constantly keep up that, it is hard.
It is. I had that happen not too long ago. I had one video that hit way above 200 views.
Yeah.
Then I do another video on rebates, 108, 109 views. So that took a little bit of a dip. But then
I
I
was
had
shocked that took a dip because
So
that
did I.
video was very informative.
Right.
Mm.
But then the next one took a little bit of an up climb.
Up climb.
So I had a little bit of a roller coaster effect there.
Right. Right.
No,
Amazing.
that's not uncanny to happen. You have a
Yeah.
and then, no, because from one video to the next, you don't know what kind of
No.
view count you're going to get.
And I can't tell you how many times a video, for example, like I didn't expect it to be. I mean, I expect it to be okay. I always expect it to be at least okay.
Mhm.
But some are better than okay, and I expected that particular video to be just okay.
Mhm.
And I realized, well, Janet, if it's gaining momentum, that's really okay.
Oh yeah. Who wouldn't want the momentum? Right. So
Well,
anyway.
you have a happy birthday.
Oh, I definitely will. I'm trying to plan out a little dinner.
Good.
I've got a gift card for a restaurant called Texas Roadhouse, and it's
Oh,
45
nice.
bucks, $45. And
Nice.
I do believe I'm going to go find me a pretty nice ribeye steak to go with it.
Extremely nice.
So that's going to be, if I get a little dessert, little ice cream or something, maybe cake, a dinner. Of course, I'm not going to pass up my candy and my.
And don't just stop it on October 31. Keep that birthday week going.
Oh, I will. Oh, I will. Yeah. Oh, don't you worry. What I'm going to do is probably celebrate the whole zodiac period.
There you
Because
go.
my zodiac is a Scorpio. It started the 23rd.
Right.
It ends on the 22nd of November. So I might just use that whole period.
Hey, listen, I always say this, Steve, take a good thing and run with it. For real.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it, And, Jan and I will definitely see you guys back here again. So, always be on the lookout for us. And, I hope everybody has a great Halloween. Be safe, especially if you got any trick-or-treaters, keep your eyes open. Always check the candy, because it's not like it was back in our day when it was, people like to do weird things. So
Yes.
you just can't
celebrate at home sometimes. Just do like a lot of fun Halloween things at home.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. I appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.